Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.
I'm just jazzed about being on the show, man.
You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk. Alright, so this is... I just was talking, recording another episode, just, I don't know, and then trying to just kind of record a bunch, and then, anyway, and then I kind of thought of a story that would be good for me to share. So anyway, so here I go. So I was talking about depression, and one of the things that, I learned, or I have learned over time, is that I have actually suffered from depression for a very long time. My my mom has it, my sister, dad, everybody in my family's freaking, has had an issue with depression. I guess a lot of people have. It's the stuff they put in the water and the medicine they give you, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, but so hopefully me marrying a foreigner, at least a foreigner, from the States, maybe will kind of help mitigate my kids from getting it. Here's hoping, anyway. But so here we go. So, I for a while I thought, my depression was because of my experiences in Iraq, when I think it's more along the lines like it's just my experiences in Iraq kind of amplified and just kind of made it a little worse, or maybe a lot worse, I guess, compared to what it was. But anyway, so here's my story. So I found this out while moving here to the Philippines. After my dad died, I was going through some of his stuff and various things, and I found a little journal from my stepmom that actually she would take any kind of notes regarding me and like my mom and stuff like that, because it's, usually when you got step family and new remarried, whatever, there's, it's very rare, I guess, to find a family that completely get along. Well, I mean, that's true in any case, I guess, but so, my stepmom and my mom didn't get along. I don't know if they ever really did. And then obviously my dad and my mom didn't get along because they got divorced, right? So anyway, so I guess, so my stepmom would she would take down little journal entries anytime something would occur with me, and them and everything like that. So lots of stuff, child support stuff and whatever, this and that. But the one thing, I want to say it covers a couple of years, and it's only like maybe, I think there's like 1 year where there was one entry or something like that, so it wasn't like a detailed weekly journal or anything like that. But the one thing that I found, which was interesting for me, and kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but when I was in like third grade, I remember like once or twice a week, I would be pulled out of class, and I would go talk to a person. I think it was a female. I don't know. And this person would ask me questions, and then at the end of it, we would play like Connect 4 or something, some kind of game, right? And I didn't know what it was about. Like, I thought it was because I wasn't smart. You know what I mean? Like, for the longest time, until I read this journal entry regarding it, I thought it was because my grades weren't doing well or something like that. So they were trying to figure out if I was retarded or something. But as it turned out, I think this was the beginning of depression for me, because this was like a little after So my mom, she remarried after my dad. So he was my stepfather, obviously. And he wasn't the greatest guy, but he wasn't he wasn't the worst either. I guess. I don't know. He wasn't the worst to me. But there was a time where he got in a fight with my mom and he hit her. And I remember, like, I was walking up the stairs, because, it was loud, obviously. And, like, she was laying on the ground in the kitchen or something. And she was bleeding because he, like, punched her or slapped her or something. And then, they yell at me and I run back to my room or whatever. So that's about as much as I remember about that. But I guess after that, I kind of shut down a little bit. Like at school, I guess I was very closed in to the point of where people noticed. And that's why I was seeing that person. And then they also let my dad know. And so they kind of knew, right? So this was all kind of why I went and saw that person. So I remember this was like, I don't know, 2 years ago when I found this and I was reading it. I was like, oh man. I was like, I totally remember that. And then this, and then it was like, oh, it all just kind of clicked, And, but yeah, so I think that was kind of the thing that initially brought on like depression for me. And then I was sitting there thinking, oh crap, if I've been depressed since then. So I just start kind of like thinking about my life and recollecting various things. And I remember it was like, growing up, being a young adult, it's like, my friends would want to go and go party and go, hey, let's go out drinking. And I was just like, no, I don't want to. I just wanted to stay home by myself and, watch a movie or something. And I thought it was just because, I didn't want to. I wanted to chill. That's what I kind of, but now that I look at it, it's like, I think that was my depression modes, because I'd go through the, just depressions like hills and valleys and stuff. And so then it was like, okay, so that kind of makes some sense. And then it would be, there would be time, like when I was in school, in high school and stuff, I would go through, like, okay, let's say ninth grade. Ninth grade was one of the worst years academic-wise for me. I had to go to summer school after ninth grade. It was just one class, an English class, which that's where I read the book 1984. So it's kind of cool. But what was I saying? So it's like I could focus and be attentive to school and what I needed to do to get things done, and I would be optimistic or I would be eager to kind of, get a good grade and do whatever. And then I'd go through periods where I just did not care. I was like, whatever, I'll half-ass something. I didn't care that I got a D or a C or whatever. You know what I mean? It didn't bother me. And so I would have, it was like, it was weird. It was like, I don't know how long it would last. I think it would last a while. But it's like, I remember having my best school year was my junior year in high school is when I got the highest grade point average, which still wasn't super high. I don't even know if it was, maybe it was 3. But I was actually, I don't know. Well, that was the year that I got my license and I took driver's ed. And that was the only class that I got like straight A plus, in. But yeah, so I think I was just kind of, maybe not depressed, happy about getting my license and wanted to make sure I did that. And that kind of helped me along with my other classes. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would just kind of think back about on these things. And I'm like, man, what would, I don't know. It just kind of, it's what, if I didn't have depression, what would my life be like? Or let's say they did, what is it when a doctor or somebody says, hey, you have this, that's them, dang it. diagnosed. There we go. Jeez. What if I had been diagnosed with depression at a young age and then given like antidepressants at a young age like that? How would that, I don't know. So I'm kind of glad for that I didn't get that. But I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is just crazy. And it's just annoying. But I'm trying to, like, with that information and everything, I'm trying to, find ways to just kind of keep moving forward and just try and stay positive and everything. And then this is why I did the podcast. Well, not the first time. The first time I did it just because I was bored of it. Excuse me. The second time, when I originally started the Objective Jerk, was to kind of let me do what I'm doing right now. Just talking to like a therapist, I guess. Because it's, I don't know, it's weird. Like I'm a private person. I guess I don't really like to, advertise my life to people. I even have a hard time talking to, like, it took me a while to open up to therapists at the VA. And, it's just, but then yet here I am kind of opening up to my computer and this microphone and essentially other people I don't even know who they are. All right, so my wife just got back. She's knocking on the door. I locked the door so I could not be disturbed. Anyway, oh crap. What was I talking about? I'm gonna have to stop it and listen to what I was saying. Depression? No. I mean, yeah, but crap. Hold on a second. Okay, that's right. So, it's not the easiest thing, I think, for a lot of men to open up to people, strangers, even people that they love, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to even like talk to my own wife about certain things. And then I mean, if I just came out and said, "Hey, I don't feel good right now. I need to talk to you about something. It's important." She would sit down, she would listen, and she'd be attentive to it. But that's not how I go about it. I'll kind of start talking and I'll slowly work my way towards it. But then she's thinking I'm talking about something that she's just not, because I have interests that she doesn't, and vice versa, and then she'll kind of blow it off, and then I get annoyed, even though she has no idea. And then, so we never talk, you know what I mean? But it is kind of tough. And I could talk to my dad. That was the thing. Losing my dad here was kind of, it was a bigger, I don't know. Anybody loses a father. Everybody loses their father, I guess. Well, not everybody. That's a stupid comment, but it's hard on most people, I think, even if they don't really have much of a relationship with their father, just to know that their father's gone, I think is hard. Or stepfather or whatever. And, I didn't have a big relationship with my dad as a kid. We had more of a relationship once I got older. And even then it was like, because he's an alcoholic, so he would, drink, and when he's drunk, he's a fucking douchebag. When he's sober, he was awesome, so it was like having to deal with that. And he was the kind that would be drunk for, a few months, and then he would be sober for a few months. Maybe, give or take a month or so, whatever, maybe longer. And then he would start drinking again because he's, feeling good, this and that. Oh, I can have a drink. You know how it is. It's like, I'll just drink one glass of wine. That's it. And then it just becomes 2 and 3, then more. Then it turns to liquor and whatever. That was just the way he was. Like he just, And then once he got drunk, he would tell me that he couldn't stand to be hungover, so he would just keep drinking, which I kind of sympathize with, like, because I hate being hungover, but that's why I don't drink at all, really, because I hate that feeling. And so I guess, that was one thing, or a small thing that's difference between him and me, but it was a huge factor in our lives because he was drunk, or he would wake up, start to feel hungover, and instead of, eating some food, drinking some Gatorade, some coffee, and being in bed all day or whatever, he would just keep drinking, which I guess is easier. But for me, when I woke up and I felt like crap, the last thing I wanted to do was drink. Even if I knew I'd feel better, I could not do it. So it's kind of crazy to think about that little fact. What if I was the same way? What if I was that way and always, drinking, or he was like me, didn't want to drink. Anyway, it's kind of weird to think about crap like that. But anyway, the whole reason I was talking about this was, so my dad, when he passed, a part of me was relieved because he had picked up drinking again once he got here. Before we moved here, he was sober for a while. He went to the doctor and went to the VA. We took him. And I was there when the doctor's like, hey, if you drink, you will die. So, and he's like, oh, hey, no problem. I'm done. But he always said that, he'd always find a way to get back into it. And I remember when we were getting ready to move here, he was like, or maybe not ready, but it was planned, right? We pulled the trigger in moving here. It just hadn't happened yet. And he was like, I'm not going to drink anything until we're on the plane and we're halfway here to the Philippines. I want to drink some champagne or something like that. And it was like, oh my God, no, that's how it starts. But of course he's like, oh, no. And actually he didn't drink any champagne because he was struggling on the flight over because he had COPD. He had a little portable oxygen machine, but it was hard on him. But once he got here to the Philippines, he immediately felt better. And then after 2 days, he wasn't even carrying his oxygen machine and he could walk, you know what I mean? So he was, if he would have not drank anymore, he would have, I'm pretty sure he'd still be alive. But it added, but then he's like, oh crap, now I can drink. Or I don't know, he just started drinking again. And so it got to the point where he would go and he'd be shit-faced driving somewhere, go buy some alcohol and come back. And, you can get away with driving drunk here much easier than in the States. Although he got away with it pretty good there too. But so when he passed, part of me was relieved that I didn't have to worry about his drinking and what could happen and all that kind of crap, you know what I mean? And we would get into arguments and stuff, and he would be a dick sometimes. I didn't have to worry about that. So when he passed, I was actually initially relieved. It's kind of mean to say and stuff, but I was like, okay, so that's over with. The struggle's over. He doesn't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it. It wasn't until over time. I mean, obviously I was upset too, but I remember that was the first thing I felt was relief, and then I was just kind of like, and it wasn't, I think it was 2 weeks later, I think is when I kind of broke down. And, and then as time has went on, it's like I kind of really feel the void, especially recently, of not having him, because he was a person that I would, if I was upset about something stupid here, I'd bitch to, and he would listen. Or, my wife or the kids, oh my God, they drive me crazy, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He would listen, and, So now, almost 3 years later, I haven't had anybody to really talk to. So that's what this is about. And I gotta remember that, because I think I get kind of caught up in trying to get downloads and all this kind of stuff when it's not about that. It's just, I need to just focus on just doing it and just talking. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna want to open up like this every time, but it's, it's good to have it. It's just like a journal. It's just a digital journal, I guess. I don't even have to post these. But then what's really the point? Because I think I'd rather have someone listen to this and be able to, empathize with it and be like, yeah, my dad was the same way, or my mom, or whatever. And I don't know. And somebody say, like, send me an email at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com and be like, dude, man, I would listen to it and I totally agree with you, or whatever. I don't know. That'll be kind of cool, but it's just, but that's, yeah. So anyway, I got like another 2 minutes. I think I have to do 23 minutes if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so depression, it's a motherfucker. And it just sucks because, like, sometimes you don't realize it, but then what's annoying is when you do realize it and you just cannot get out of it. It's just annoying. I guess the thing to do is just to keep trying, though. It's like you just get out of bed and take a shower and just, do a little something. So, I mean, that's one thing I've learned, I guess, is just to kind of really try. And I'll, go do a load of laundry, or I'll try and do some stuff, but it's just, you can't, God, it gets so annoying, And I've said it before. It's like, I remember, like when people would kill themselves, and I'd be like, dude, what the hell, man? It's like, you got kids, you got this. Why would you do that? It's so selfish. And it is, but at the same time, it's like, now I kind of understand, because, they go through some stuff, and it's like, and then they just, that depression, and you can't do anything about it. You just get tired of it. You get tired, and you start feeling bad for loved ones having to deal with it as well. You know what I mean? So you're like, what's better? Sometimes me good, and then you having to deal with my depression all the time, or me not being here at all. And, you just have to deal with the loss. You know what I mean? So I think that people weigh that, and they just think that people are, their life would be better if they didn't have to deal with, your depression and stuff. Now, I'm not trying to, this isn't a cry for help or anything. I'm just saying that I do understand it now. I don't know. Plus, it's just, when your brain, whether it's depression or whether it's, survivor's guilt or whatever it is, and it just constantly, you can't do anything about it. No matter what you try, your brain just will not cooperate. It gets old. It gets annoying. But I think that's the important thing, is just to keep, you got to find something to kind of keep you going. Do something. That's what they say. Do something every day. Whether maybe today you shower, tomorrow you shave, the next day you clip your toenails, whatever. I don't know. Just got to keep going. I think that's it. That's the most important thing. So anyway, my time's about up. If you would like to, you can, look me up on Twitter. I still have everything. I don't really get on it, though, but maybe I'll start checking it again. God, I hate the idea of getting on social media. But, at the very least, email me, theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. And, go from there. All right. Thanks for listening. And I'm trying to make this last for 10 more seconds. Trying to get to 25. Because actually, I think with the AI thing that they have on this now. It has to be 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so that's it. Okay, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think. All right, talk to you there. Bye.